Welcome, guys. This is Wednesday's weekly wrap up. We're going to wrap up the news and talk about our picks. The picks are going to be in a different video, but this one is about the news, and I'm just going to carry about talk about three different stories. And the first one is Lamar Jackson, MVP. No, he can't be MVP, and I'll tell you why. All right, so first of all, I'm not a Lamar hater. I love Lamar. When he is playing at his high level, he is one, if not the best quarterback in the league. With his running ability and his throwing ability, he is a great quarterback. And I like the Ravens enough. I just don't think that this year he's done enough, at least statistically, to show that he should be MVP, because we're talking about the MVP here, which that means a lot of different things for a lot of different people. But if you don't have at least some stats to back it up, I just don't think you can make an argument for being the best player in the league. And he doesn't have it. He doesn't have the stats to back him up this year. He might be playing very well right now, but you have to play the whole entire year. The most valuable player for your team and the NFL, and you just didn't do it this year. So let's talk about some stats. First, he has 3,357 yards, which is pretty solid, but not great, right? Like, MVP level in my mind should be into that 4,000, 5,000 yards. And yeah, the MVP is a quarterback award. Like, it is not anything else. I've never seen a non-quarterback win this award. It might have happened in my lifetime, but I've not been aware of it while I've been watching it since like 2010. But that yardage puts him 15th out of all quarterbacks, which is there's 32 starting quarterbacks. Well, this year's a little different with all the injuries, but point is there are 32 quarterbacks, and you're 15th, which even makes it worse that he's in the middle because of all these other quarterbacks that should be easier to get up into that higher level, and he just doesn't have the yardage there. So what about touchdowns? Because maybe you're just super efficient. Well, he has 19 touchdowns, which, like, no one's making an argument for Jordan Love, and he has 25 touchdowns, which is just more. Having 19 touchdowns ties him for 14th out of the league. So again, very mid. Now, he only does have 7 interceptions, which is pretty low. It's the 24th worst, which you're talking about. If we're talking about 32 quarterbacks and more, 24th worst is going to be around that little higher up, but still somewhat mid area. But again, 7 touchdowns in the year is not bad, but you just don't have the touchdowns to kind of make up for it. Wins. He is on the best team. He has 12 wins right now, which, like, he's part of those wins, and you don't have to throw a million touchdowns if you're winning, right? So you could say, hey, that's a little bit of an argument. He's on the best team. He is doing well. He is winning the best and the most games. This is why he should be MVP. But again, it's not the best team award. It's the most valuable player award. And the wins do matter, but they don't matter as much as everything else. That being said, the Ravens have scored 46 touchdowns total, which puts them at 6th. So you might have won the most games, but you have not scored the most touchdowns, which again kind of argues against him being the best of the best this year. Finally, he has 786 rushing yards, which puts his total to that 4,000 mark, which does boost his odds to get that MVP. I agree, which is also first out of all quarterbacks. So he has the most not the most touchdowns. He has the most yardage of any quarterback for rushing, and mid for throwing the ball. So again, you got to put that somewhere. Let's average it out to say 7th, right? So the 7th best quarterback. Now, if you go ahead and put that to everybody in the league, that's 18th. He's the 18th. He has the 18th most yards rushing in the league, which is phenomenal because that's not his position. He is not a running back. He is a quarterback. And having the 18th most yards is significant, which makes him, again, more important than the average Joe. But with those yardage, does he have a lot of touchdowns? And no, he only has 5 touchdowns for rushing, so that puts his total at 24 touchdowns. And that's just, Josh Allen has 40 touchdowns combined. And, like, 40 versus 24 is very significant. As we talked about, Jordan Love has 25 throwing touchdowns, not including his rushing touchdowns, which he has a few, but he has more throwing touchdowns than Lamar Jackson. So if we're saying Lamar should be MVP, you're just insane. Again, I like the guy. I love the guy. He's a great player. Just this year, he's not putting up the statistical numbers to have me argue on his behalf of he is the most valuable player in the league. Can't do it this year. Sorry. Now, if he somehow goes and does like 8 touchdowns next week and 8 touchdowns the week after that, fucking sure. Do it. give the man the award. But I just don't think he's playing at that high level. And the field is lackadaisical this year. Like, it's not where it should be most years. You don't have a Peyton Manning going for 55 throwing touchdowns. You don't have that. You have Lamar Jackson going for 24. Either way, this year is weird, and I just don't think he can be that. Going on to the next story, we spent a lot of time on Lamar Jackson. We have Jaire Alexander of the Green Bay Packers, one of the best cornerbacks in the league. He's been injured a lot this year. He hasn't played many games, but last week he wasn't a captain. He's normally a captain, right? He's normally a captain for the defense. And last week he's playing in his hometown, Charlotte, North Carolina, against the Panthers. And he wanted to go up to the coin flip, right? So he went with everybody else, and he called for the defense to get the ball, right? Which, regardless, like, they could have punished us. They could have punished Green Bay and said, hey, we're going to give them the award because you're not a captain. You're not even supposed to be up here. And so the news broke today that Green Bay suspended their own player for something that he didn't even get in trouble for on the field. They suspended him to set an example. But how dumb is that? We are going into one of the most important games in Green Bay's season right now, going against Minnesota, and they have one of the best receivers with Justin Jefferson, and you would think that we would want one of the best corners in the league to play against him, but no, we're going to suspend our own player for not getting in trouble. This makes no fucking sense. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't get punished and there shouldn't be, a statement said, but, fine the dude. Like, be like, hey, give us $50,000. Fine the dude significantly. He has the money to pay it, but losing $50,000 is a lot of money to lose. So, why are we hurting our own team? Why are we putting some pain in the locker room of everybody talking shit on the general manager and the league, or not the league, but our front office because they suspended one of the best players on our team for going up to do a coin flip when he's usually a captain? Dumb. It's so dumb, but the news is making its rounds today, so I wanted to mention it. It's ridiculous. And the last story today that I'm going to talk about is Russell Wilson getting benched for Jared Stidham. And I'm not saying Stidham's a bad person, but we're talking Russell fucking Wilson, the guy that's going to wear a gold jacket at some point, getting benched. And he has not been the problem. If you are a football fan, if you're watching this video, you must be. He is not the problem. Watch a game. Watch a game. I swear to you. Oh, the line is awful. Their line lets him get sacked so often. He has to dance around so much. He goes and throws the ball to his receivers that are not getting open for him to be able to throw to. Now, every quarterback's going to have some missed throws. Every quarterback's going to make some bad reads. But he is not the problem. He's not. Watch the game. If you're saying Russell Wilson's the problem, you do not watch the game. You do not understand the game. I don't know how many times I gotta say, is not the problem. And you're gonna replace him with Jarrett Stidham? This doesn't make any sense. You are still playing for the playoff contention. Your odds for it are very, very low, but you are not dead yet, Broncos. If you lost this week and you're out of the playoffs, I don't care. Go ahead and put him in. Not only that, but you paid the man so much. You signed him to a $250 million contract 2 years ago. And if you release him early, you have $80 million going to be a cap hit next year. If you release him late, you're going to have $40 million as a cap hit. There is no reason why you should be just even contemplating this. I understand if you're thinking in the future, okay, we still have to go with Russ for another year because it's going to be financially stupid to get rid of him. It's financially suicide. You're not going to be able to build the team with the money that you have. You won't. Your team next year is going to be worse than this year. And it's the fact. Unless you somehow get a golden thrower in this draft, which you're bad at drafting. How many people? We got Osweiler, Drew Lock, Paxton Lynch, just off the top of my head right now. All first round, terrible fucking picks. Osweiler might not have been the first round. I don't remember at this point. Point is, you're terrible. Russell Wilson is the best quarterback you have had since Peyton Manning retired. I don't fucking fucking understand, you guys. I don't. Like, there is no world that this makes sense. Watch the fucking games. He's not the problem. And you owe him a lot of money no matter fucking what you do. Like, you're just shooting yourself in the foot for no reason. Like, I have two friends of mine, close friends that are Broncos fans that don't like Russell Wilson, but they also just, I think they're a little crazy. But they don't like Russell Wilson. But I don't think that either one of them wants him to not be on the team because you're just wasting so much money that you're not going to be able to build a team without him being the centerpiece. You can't. He is taking up so much. I'm saying roughly a fifth of your salary cap next year, if not more, if you release him early. He might be able to take up to like 40% of your cap space. 40%, one dude. And you're just going to get rid of him? Dumb owner, dumb mistakes. Your owner, the stupid Walmart guy that just took over the team, doesn't know what he's doing unless he's just saying, hey, I'm young enough that we can suck for the next 3 years and let's build something in the future. I have fuck off money, so I don't give a fuck. 40 million? That's chump change to me. My fucking dad, grandpa, whatever he fucking was, created Walmart. And if you're going from that perspective, sure, but you shouldn't be an NFL owner. Just saying. All right, guys. Ran over 12 minutes. Sheesh. This is NFL news. I don't really do news right now because there's just so much during the weeks. But, I'll do some more news once the playoffs start and the after season, the off season starts up. That will just be news because we can't do any picks. We can't do any power rankings. We can't do any of that because the season will be over. And I'm going to cry because we only got 2 weeks left. See you next week.